All right, beautiful. Thank you for joining me for a yoga and meditation class. My name is Holly. My pronouns are she, her. This is a floor-based class. All you need is a yoga mat or a carpeted area. Yeah, that's it. No prior yoga experience necessary. This class is open for anyone who wants to practice yoga. We're going to start in a comfortable seated position. You can sit in what's called Sukhasana, easy pose with knees bent and one foot in front of the other. You can also sit crisscross applesauce if that's more comfortable to you. Can rock back and forth, side to side. And as we start to enter into our yoga space, you can make any motions with your body that feel good. So what I'm doing and what you're doing don't need to mirror each other. Just take a minute here to move in a way that feels good. This might be the first time in your day that you're really intentionally moving and breathing. And if at any point in class, something that I'm suggesting doesn't feel right for you, remember that you can do something else. You can take a different variation of the posture. You can skip it and just relax and breathe. You know what's best for your body better than anyone else. And this is a time not just to move and stretch and breathe and be present. It's also a time to really trust yourself and trust what your body's telling you. Sit up nice and tall. You can place one hand over your heart space and one hand over your abdomen. If it feels good, you can close your eyes or do a soft fuzzy gaze beyond the tip of your nose. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Feel your body rise with the inhale breath. And exhale. You can exhale through your nose or your mouth, whichever feels good to you. Let's try that again. Inhale. Feel your chest and abdomen rise. Exhale. Let your shoulders fall. One more time. Breathe in. And empty out. And throughout class, let your breath be your home base. If at any point your practice starts to get away from you, or again, something just doesn't feel right, you're always more than welcome just to return to your breath and focus there. If your eyes are closed, you can open your eyes, look straight ahead, place your hands outside of your hips. You can tent your fingers, push your fingertips into the floor, and sit up a little bit taller. So really lift your chest. Great, drop your shoulders. We'll start to move our body. Take an inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead in a big expansive gesture. Exhale, pull your hands through heart center. Great, arms down by your side. Let's try that again. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Beautiful, exhale through the nose. Pull your hands through heart center. One more time, breathe in. And slowly exhale, breathe out. Great, thumbs at sternum, press your palms together, feel your biceps engage. Interlace your 10 fingers, push your palms out for a nice knuckle stretch. We have 28 knuckles and we want to stretch all of them. Drop your shoulders, lift your chest. Good, and then release that grip, take your arms down by your side. Keep your right hand on the floor. On your inhale, sweep your left arm long overhead for a side body stretch. As you exhale, come back to center, float your left arm down. Let's try the other side. Inhale, right arm up, big stretch up. Exhale, right arm down. Inhale, stretching the left side body. Try to keep your left hip on the floor. Exhale, come back to center, left hand down. Inhale, reach your right arm up. Keep your chin away from your chest. Exhale, back to center, right hand down. Last time, breathe in, connect your breath to your body. Breathe out, sit up tall, shoulders down. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, come back to center. Beautiful. Look at your arms and legs. Identify which is left, which is right. Don't mix them up. Take an inhale, arms up once more. Exhale, left hand to right knee. Right hand close behind you. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, pull abdomen in, look over, right shoulder twist. So just getting some movement in our body at the beginning of class. Drop your shoulders, lift your chest, look back. Good, and slowly, carefully unwind. Let's do the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, right hand to left knee, left hand behind you. Breathe in, big stretch up. And as you exhale, pull abdomen in, look over left shoulder. Notice if you start to lean to the left, lean a little to the right. So that's just your spine twisting rather than your hips moving as you look back. Good, slowly unwind, come back to center. Keep your left knee bent, kick your right leg out to a 45-degree angle, and if you'd like, you can bring your left heel in towards your groin. Take an inhale, sweep your arms up, it's a theme. Exhale, turn to your right and round down. Hands to either sides of your knees. You can start to draw your forehead down towards your knee. Flex your right toes back to your face. Keep your shoulders out of your ears. Beautiful. Push your hands into the floor, uncurl, come back to center, and you're going to bring your right leg out a little bit more. So now we're stretching the inner thigh. Take your right hand outside of right thigh, and once again, reach your left arm long overhead. You have an option to keep your right hand on the floor, or if you'd like, you can bend your right elbow, bringing forearm to thigh, getting a little bit deeper. Notice if your left glute and left knee are way off the floor, try to bring the left hip, left knee down. Good. Come back to center, arms down. We'll do the other side, left leg out, right leg in, legs at an L, a 90-degree angle, heel towards your groin. Take an inhale, stretch up. Exhale, turn to your left, round your spine, chin to chest, flex your left toes back, keep your shoulders out of your ears, look towards your belly button. Push your hands into the floor, uncurl, come back to center. Now kick your left leg out a little bit more, keep the toes flexed back, left hand outside of left thigh, reach your right arm long overhead. And again, you can keep your hand on the floor or get a little deeper by bending the elbow and resting your elbow forearm on your left thigh. Roll your right shoulder back so that your ribs stack on top of one another. Good. Come back to center, right arm down, keep your left leg kicked out, kick your right leg out, can point your toes, flex your toes, maybe windshield wiper the ankles or draw circles, rolling out the ankle joints. Good. Flex your toes back, stick your butt out a little bit so you're sitting forward of your sit bones. Take an inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold. Hands to the floor. Rather than rounding your spine, think about arching your spine, shoulders out of the ears, chin away from the chest. You can walk your hands a little bit more forward to get deeper into the posture. Never force the body. A little bit goes a long way. Good. Walk your hands back in. With or without the use of your hands, slide your feet together. And again, you can windshield wiper your feet, point your toes, flex your toes, draw circles clockwise, counterclockwise. Flex your toes back. I'm going to show you from the side. Take an inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold. And depending on your body proportions, you can have your hands outside your thighs, your knees, your calves. If you have a long torso like I do, you might even be able to grab your big toes with your middle and index finger, roll your shoulders back and down, lengthen your spine. Great, lift yourself up, come back to center. Then we're going to come onto our knees in tabletop position. For tabletop, if you have tight toes, ankles, or knees, you are welcome to roll up your yoga mat, or if you don't have a yoga mat, you can put a small blanket or pillow underneath any delicate lower body joints, so there's some extra padding there. You want your knees about hip width distance, knees under hips, and your hands about shoulder width distance, wrists under shoulders, flat back. We're going to cat-cow. Take an inhale, lengthen your spine. And on the exhale, round your spine like a cat, meow. So round your spine up towards the ceiling. You can relax your head down, press your hips forward, pull your abdomen in. On your next inhale, cow pose, moo. You're going to drop your abdomen down, stick your butt out, roll your shoulders back and down as you look up and back. Exhale into your cat pose. So round your spine, compress your abdominal wall, drop your head down, push your knuckles into the floor. Inhale, cow pose. Let your abdomen hang heavy. You're compressing your spine. Squeeze shoulder blades, scapula together. Press your knuckles into the floor. Last round. Exhale, cat, meow. Keep your shoulders out of your ears. Inhale, cow, moo. Keep your shoulders out of your ears. Exhale, neutral spine position. We're going to keep your left hand on the floor. Inhale, reach your right arm up, look up, stretching the right side body. It's a nice little spine twist. Exhale, right hand down to floor. And we'll do the other side. Inhale, reach your left arm up, roll the left rib cage back, look up. Exhale, left hand down. This time we're going to thread the needle. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, thread the needle, take your right arm under left arm, right ear to floor. Try to keep your hips over your knees. Option to keep your left hand on the floor or reach your left hand up towards the ceiling and start to drape it behind you. Reach for your waistband, your hip, or even your right thigh with your left hand. Breathe. If your left hand is straight behind you, reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. Place your left hand back on the floor under your shoulder. Push your palm into the floor. We're going to unthread the needle. Inhale, slide your right arm out. Look up, lift your right arm up. Exhale, right hand down. Good. Let's do the other side. Inhale your left arm up. Exhale, thread the needle, left arm, under right arm, left ear, left shoulder to floor, hips over knees. Option to keep your right hand on the floor or reach it up and drape behind you. Again, you can grab your waistband, your hip, or reach for your left thigh with your right hand. If your right arm is straight behind you, reach your right arm up. Place your right hand on the floor under your shoulder, unthread the needle. Inhale, reach your left arm up, look up. Exhale, left hand down. Great. Bring your big toes together, open your knees a little bit more. We're going to go into a wide-legged child's pose. Sink your hips back, reach your arms forward, drawing your forehead towards the floor, hips towards your heels. We'll take a breath here. Inhale, feel your ribs expand. Exhale, let your shoulders and chest fall. Walk your hands in under your shoulders. Press yourself up, come into a seated position. And if you'd like to do a little counter stretch, you can put your hands on your lower back and do a little back bend, looking up. Great. If your mat is rolled up like mine is, unroll your mat. We're going to come onto our abdomen for a little bit of spine work. So lying on your abdomen with your feet on the floor about hip width distance, we will start with a back bend called Sphinx Pose. Bend your elbows so that your forearms are on the floor shoulder width distance. You can have your elbows directly under your shoulders. You can also walk your hands forward a little bit so that the back bend is more gentle. Roll your shoulders out of your ears, open through your heart space, look up towards the ceiling. Slide your elbows out, hands in, bring your forehead down towards the floor, take a breath, reset the spine. Baby Cobra, chin forward, hands on the floor below your shoulders this time. Spread your fingers wide, keep your feet hip width distance. Press your feet, palms and knuckles into the floor, look up and lift. Roll your shoulders back and down. So now there's more activation in the upper spine. Squeeze shoulder blade scapula together. You have an option to stay in Baby Cobra, or depending on spinal mobility, you can start to straighten your arms coming up into full Cobra. Shoulders out of the ears. Keep your hips and pelvis down on the floor as you look up. Great, bend your elbows, lower back down. Take your elbows out, hands in, forehead to floor, reset. Bring your chin forward, arms in front of you. So arms straight, palms facing in, like you have a beach ball in between your hands. Keep your feet about hip width distance, point your toes, squeeze your glutes, and then start to lift your feet and hands off the floor, and maybe elbows and knees off the floor, and then maybe thighs and chest off the floor. Look up. Stay here. Take your arms out to the side. Rotate your palms, palms face down. Squeeze shoulder blade scapula together, look up. Keep your chest and thighs lifted. Now rotate your arms back behind you, palms face in like you're holding onto that beach volleyball again. Shoulders out of the ears, lift your thighs and chest, look up. Good, slowly lower down. Can have your arms down by your side this time, palms face the ceiling, look to your left with your right ear on your mat, take a breath. Good, and then lift your head, look to your right, left ear on your mat, breathe. Gently lift your head, chin forward, place your hands underneath your shoulders, press yourself back up into your tabletop position. Option to stay in your tabletop or take a down dog, tuck your toes under and lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Press your heels down to the floor, drop your head, push the floor away from you. We'll take a breath here in down dog. Inhale. Exhale. Chin forward, look forward, bend your knees, come back into your tabletop. And then lie on your abdomen. We are on our backs for the last part of our yoga asana practice. Lie on your back, arms down by your side. Bend your knees so that your feet are about hip width distance. Feet rest on the floor. Rotate your shoulders so palms face down, and then lift your hips slightly. Bring your hands underneath you for bridge pose. Press your shoulders down. Keep your head on the floor. Squeeze your glutes. Press your feet into the floor and lift your hips up. Press down through your knuckles and shoulders. Keep your chin slightly to your chest, neck long. Rather than opening your ribs, try to knit your ribs together. Squeeze your glutes, lift your hips up 1 more inch. Good. Slowly lower your hips back down. Arms out, figure 4. Keep your left foot on the floor. Lift your right foot off the floor. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Option to keep your left foot on the floor or lift your left foot off the floor, hugging your thighs in towards your chest. You can keep your hands on the floor. You can grab the backs of your legs. You can also interlace your 10 fingers behind your left thigh. Keep your 2 shoulders, 2 hips down. Breathe. Release any grip you have from the backs of your legs. Bring your left foot to the floor, right foot to the floor, other side. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Option to keep your right foot on the floor or lift your foot off the floor, hugging your thighs in towards your abdomen. And again, you can keep your hands on the floor. You can grab the outsides of your legs, or you can interlace your fingers behind your right thigh, maybe with other thumb, pinky finger on top. So you switch your grip. Chin in slightly to your chest. Feel your neck lengthen. Release any grip you have from the back of your right leg. Return your right foot to the floor, left foot to the floor. Happy baby. Lift both feet off the floor. Flex your toes back towards your face. Keep your knees bent. You can keep your hands on the floor. You can grab the backs of your legs. You can also grab the outsides of your feet with your hands. And from here, you might rock right and left, back and forth, rolling out your spine. As you roll to the right, you can try straightening your right leg, and then bend your right knee, come back to center. As you roll to the left, you can try straightening your left leg, and then bend your left knee, come back to center. Once you're kind of even, rocked out, come back to center, hold here, shoulders, hips down, chin slightly to chest. Draw your knees down towards the floor on either sides of your ribs. If you have a grip on your feet or the backs of your legs, place your hands outside of your knees, bring your knees, feet together, and then bring your heels in towards your thighs. We're going to take a spine twist here. You can take your arms out to the side, nice and long. You can also bend your elbows, cactusing them like goalposts. From here, if you'd like, you can roll to the right with your left hip on top of right hip, left shoulder down towards the floor. You can keep the back of your head on the floor or look over your left shoulder for a shoulder twist as well. It's a nice way to reset your back at the end of class. It's also good for digestion. Take a breath, reconnect to the breath. Inhale, body rise. Exhale, body fall. If you're looking over your left shoulder, bring the back of your head to the floor. Now roll your left hip down to the floor, and we'll do the other side. Roll to the left, right hip stacks on top of left hip, right shoulder down towards the floor. So your chest is opening out here. You can keep the back of your head on the floor or look over your right shoulder. A great way to open up the chest and shoulders where we tend to store some tension. If you're looking over your right shoulder, bring the back of your head to the floor. Roll your right hip back down to the floor. And now lift your chin and chest. Give yourself a big hug, maybe even grab for your elbows. Draw your forehead towards your knees. Contract every muscle in your body. You can even make a funny face if it feels good. Take an inhale. And then exhale. Open your mouth. Release the grip on your legs. Bring your arms and legs down. Final Savasana. Let your hands, head, and feet be heavy. Let the floor hold you up. Take an inhale, body rise. Exhale, body fall. Breathe in and breathe out. I call this a yoga and meditation class, but meditation is actually part of a yoga practice. We commonly associate yoga with, moving our body, the asanas, the postures, and maybe the pranayamas, the breath work, but meditation is its own limb of yoga as well. So this is really just like an extension of your yoga practice. And in fact, traditionally, thousands of years ago in the subcontinent of India, the whole point of asana, of postures, was to be able to sit still and meditate. The Sanskrit word asana, which we translate to mean posture, like a yoga posture, etymologically, it's the root for the word stool, like a stool that you would sit on. And again, it's this idea that you would move your body so that you could sit on a stool in lotus pose and meditate all day. So we're very much in the right place here after moving our body for 20 minutes to be able to breathe. Meditation, just like asana or pranayama, is a practice. You don't need to be good at it to do it. In fact, there is no such thing as a good meditator or a bad meditator. There are simply people who meditate and people who do not. So for the sake of today, right, you're meditating. Give yourself permission just to be curious and to explore maybe a practice of mindfulness, of stillness, of breath. And the same way that in an asana practice, I tell you, something doesn't work for you, don't do it. Same thing here. Something just doesn't feel right for you. You can return to your home base, which is your breath. As you inhale, you might observe the air coming into the nostrils. As you exhale, you might observe the air coming out of the nostrils. You can always simply practice focusing on your breath in class. For the purpose of this meditation, you are welcome to continue to lie down. You're also welcome to mindfully roll off to one side and press yourself up into a seated position. And once you've found the way that you would like to sit or lie for meditation, you're going to practice a little bit of stillness, and it doesn't need to be perfect. It's just a practice of stillness. So if you occasionally move, that's okay. I'm now going to light a candle as a symbolic gesture that we're entering into a more intentional space, being intentional with our breath, intentional with our body movements, and intentional with our thoughts. During your meditation, you can close your eyes. You can do a soft, fuzzy gaze beyond the tip of your nose. Or you can pick a spot on the floor, on the wall, on the ceiling, and just focus there if that helps you feel anchored into your breath and your body. We often spend our day running from task to task, person to person, place to place. So sometimes just starting to be still and breathe can almost be jarring to the brain. And if that's you, you might also practice focusing on one of the five senses. So it could be sight, right? Like picking a spot on the ceiling to look at. It could be smell or taste or sound or touch. And sometimes anchoring to a sense can help us come back into the present moment as well. Meditation is not an absence of thought, at least it's not for me. It's more the ability to observe your thoughts without being inside of your thoughts. So you can let them pass rather than attaching to them. And if at any point you realize that you have started to follow a certain thought, maybe something on your to-do list or something that happened earlier today, if you notice that you've attached to a thought, You might just compassionately tell yourself, thinking, 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 and then return to your breath into the present moment. Inhale, body rise. Exhale, body fall. We'll take a moment just to be still and observe our thoughts passing like clouds in the sky. You might find in meditation that you loop back to a certain thought. It could be a thought of, am I doing this right? Or what comes next? It could be maybe replaying a conversation that you had earlier this week, or coming back to something on your to-do list that still needs to be done. If you notice that your thoughts are looping, give yourself permission just to politely set them aside for the time being. They can be there for you later if you know that's still useful to you, but just give yourself permission to set that aside and be here now. We'll take another minute just to breathe. There are many ways to connect the breath to the body. For example, in an asana practice, right? You might, focus like when we did in thread the needle. As you inhale, you reach one arm up, and as you exhale, you thread your arms. And in this meditation, we'll connect the breath and the body through visualization. So we're not going to move our body or even our eyes, but we will connect our breath to our body. So without moving your head or looking around, visualize your left shoulder, your right shoulder, and your third eye center, the space between your brows. We're going to do triangle breath, connecting these three spots. So without moving your body, draw your attention to your left shoulder. Draw your attention to your third eye center. Now bring your attention to your right shoulder. Picturing these 3 points, we're going to draw a triangle in our mind using our breath. Beginning with the left shoulder, take an inhale through your nose. Imagine the breath going from the left shoulder to the third eye center between the brows. Now hold this breath, and as you hold, imagine a line being drawn from third eye center to right shoulder. Exhale through your nose, draw a line from right shoulder to left shoulder. Inhale from left shoulder to third eye center. Hold, draw a line from third eye center to right shoulder. Exhale through the nose, right shoulder to left shoulder. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, left shoulder to brows. Hold brows to right shoulder. Exhale, right shoulder to left shoulder. And you can try this at your own pace, whether it's a count of 4 or a 1 count or a 10 count for a minute. From left shoulder to third eye center to right shoulder. Let's do one more round of triangle breathing, connecting shoulders to brow. And now let's move in the reverse order, inhaling left shoulder to right shoulder. Exhale, right shoulder to eyebrows. Hold the exhale, third eye center to left shoulder. Inhale through the nose, left shoulder to right shoulder. Exhale through the nose, right shoulder to third eye center. Hold the exhale, third eye center to left shoulder. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, left shoulder to right shoulder. Exhale, right shoulder to third eye center. Hold the exhale, third eye center to left shoulder. And when you're ready, inhale, and we'll do another minute of triangle breathing. This time reversing our visualization and holding the exhale rather than the inhale. If you get lost, just start again. Let's do one more round of triangle breathing. When you're ready, just return your breath to normal, in and out through your nose. You might pause to reflect if it was easier to move in one direction than the other, or if you preferred holding the inhale or the exhale. These are all things to note, not to assign judgment to. Through this meditation, we're forming new neurological pathways in our brain. We're giving our mind something to focus on so that we can let the rest of the day go. Now draw your attention to your left hip. Right hip. And the space in the center of your chest. You might imagine it as your heart space, although we know that our heart is on actually our left side of our chest. You can picture in the middle of your chest and the pectorals. Again, bringing your attention to left hip. To right hip. And to heart center. Bring your awareness back to your left hip. And begin. Inhale through your nose from the left hip to the heart center. Exhale through your nose from the heart center to the right hip. Hold the exhale from right hip to left hip. Inhale through your nose, left hip to heart center. Exhale through your nose, heart center to right hip. Hold the exhale, right hip to left hip. Inhale through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, left hip to sternum. Exhale, sternum to right hip. Pause, right hip to left hip. Inhale. Exhale. Pause. Let's reverse this time. Inhale, left hip to right hip. Hold the inhale, right hip to heart center. Exhale, sternum to left hip. Inhale, left hip to right hip. Hold the breath in, right hip to heart center. Exhale, heart center to left hip. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, left hip to right hip. Hold right hip to heart center. Exhale, heart center to left hip. Return your breath to normal. You might pick some other points in your body, maybe your hands, your hips, your feet, or your belly button. And it doesn't need to be triangle breath. It can be square breath or simply inhale and exhale. Imagine that you're connecting the dots from point to point. Mindfulness helps us connect dots. Sometimes in a yoga practice, we might perhaps connect the dot that tightness in a shoulder is related to a hip injury. Or we might connect the dot that our impatience, perhaps in a yoga class, might be related or a symbol of maybe impatience outside of a yoga class. And mindfulness also simply helps us connect dots from breath to breath, moment to moment, thought to thought, without the need to explain or judge. Draw your attention back to the center of your body. Take an inhale, feel your body rise. And then exhale, body fall. Breathe in and empty out. You're welcome to stay in your meditative space for as long as you'd like. Otherwise, I'll count us down from 3, at which point you can make any movements with your body that tell your body that you're shifting gear. Inhale. And let it go for 3, 2, 1. I'm now going to blow out this candle as a symbolic gesture that our meditative space has ended. And I'm letting the very real smoke clear the air as a reminder that when we take time to be intentional with our thoughts, we literally change our relationship with the space around us. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Hope to see you soon.